about this. He's like literally.
Welcome to tonight's show. We got some special guests. Well, welcome to the Seekers Chronicles Paranormal Historians. I just wanted where history meets the paranormal. That's what we basically want to do is, tie them together somewhere and tell the history and the paranormal that goes on with it. Well, I'm here with Kim, the ghost history medium. And Jenny.
Hello. Welcome to episode two.
Episode 2. Yeah, we made it through. We had a couple of glitches on when I started the show before with a couple of things, but it worked. So
the start.
So tonight, Jenny, you can have to announce what we're doing tonight.
Sure. We are featuring tonight the Van Vechten House in Bridgewater, New Jersey. It is 400 years old, and the land is even older. We have a lot of history to share with you. And our guests tonight, our wonderful guests, are from Full Moon Paranormal.
Yeah.
We have Susan Page, Nicole Civittoni, and Lisa Lascola. Hi, guys.
Hi, ladies.
Hi, friends.
Welcome.
Thanks for having us on.
Thanks for coming on.
Thanks. Yeah. We were looking forward to have you guys on. And you're going to have another one pop up soon. Another one of your members. So we're just going to keep her a secret right now. Be a surprise.
She's going to make a dramatic entrance.
Just in time to do all the public speaking because you know how much she loves that.
She loves it.
Yeah, she loves it. She'd be standing behind you when you do it. Like she always does. So this place has a lot of history, and I haven't investigated there, but everybody on the screen has. So I'm the man out right now. So Kim, you want to tell some of the history of the place?
Yes, but actually, how did we even get to even investigate this?
Well, yeah, it's a great question.
Lovely.
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry.
Jewel gem of a location that is it's very close to being a virgin historical haunted location. So yeah.
Very close. Minor investigating going on there. And a few people there who are self-proclaimed sensitives, and that's great too, because that's helpful to us. So it was actually I who came across this place. I know Kim had heard of it in the past, correct? You had done some research on it. But just one day, I just accidentally went down this street near me. And when I say near me, I mean I could hit it with a stone. If I threw a stone, I could probably hit it. And there's all these warehouses and trucks. And I thought, well, I'll just turn around down here and here. And all of a sudden, this amazing, colonial house came up. And I was, doing what we do. I was like, oh, what is this? Kind of thing. And luckily it was on a day that it was open, and I just walked right in that front door, and that was it. And I was like, whatever it takes, I need to investigate this place.
Yeah, like we were saying in the previous episode of how locations kind of find us. Yeah. I do feel like this is another location that kind of found you, Jenny. And like you said, I had actually been there. I didn't know anything about the place.
Oh.
But because it's the Historical Society for Somerset County actually operates out of this building, I had been there 2019 before the pandemic to actually do research on another video in another location about this, about a place in Somerset County. It was for Bound Brook. So I had been there, but I didn't know anything about it. I didn't even really read the history or anything. I was just like a sole person walking in. But yeah, amazing how these places kind of come back to us.
Yeah.
So
I just took a wrong turn and there it
yeah.
was.
And
love
what's
that.
the name
Or
of the
the right
place?
turn.
The Van Vechten house.
Vechten.
Right. Named, it's called the Derek Van Vechten house, actually.
Okay.
Right.
I'll show the sign of it so everybody gets to see that.
Yeah. So some more history about this location. So as Jenny mentioned, the land obviously goes back for eons and eons, and it was a part of the Lenape Native American tribe. And it was in the late 1600s, in 1694, that Michael Van Vechten, or Von Vechten, or we can all say it in an accent if we know how to, this land. And his family has been on this land, I'm going to say about 150 years. There's a little bit of a sketchy area, as there usually is when these families have these houses for hundreds of years.
Sure.
But the family has been passed down from family member to family member. So it was Michael passed down to Derek. And Derek was there during the American Revolution. And there is some significant history there. Then it passed down to another Michael, which you know how that goes, how the family members have the same name. Then it goes down confusing. To a Richard, and Richard was the last one to own the property, sold it in about 1840s, is kind of what I could gather. So it's been in the family history for almost 150 years. But the most significant thing of the history of this and why it is actually in the National Register of Historic Locations is its significant part in the Revolutionary War. So Anthony, if you want to pull up, there's a clipping there that says the houses or the encampments, because in the winter and spring of 1778 to 1779, during the American Revolution, this house housed General Quartermaster Nathaniel Greene for the whole winter period in this house. And he's actually like Washington's number 2. Literally, they said if Washington ever got like injured in the war, that Nathaniel Greene would have been like the next one up and would have been our president, right? So he's really, really, really significant. And
I have a picture of him. Is that what you're talking about?
We have a picture of him too.
Perfect.
Yeah. So this is Nathaniel Greene, General Quartermaster Nathaniel Greene. And he lived there with his wife, Catherine Greene, also known as Kitty. And there's some drama with that. We'll get to that. And so during this encampment, there were multiple houses in the area that housed Washington in the Wallace House. Nathaniel Greene was here. And they kind of had, you know, everybody jumped from one house to the other, having all these like British parties and all this stuff, right? We're going to get to that as well. So after the Van Vechtens had the house, then it was sold to a bunch of different people. There was actually quite a bit of changing of hands, and it became a farm, a very well-known farm called the Riverside Stockyard. And it went into the hands of the Meyer family. The Meyer family is the family that had it probably the most after the Van Vechtens. They had it about 40 years. And then after that, again, it was kind of gone to this developer and that developer. And as Jenny said, like you drive down this street and it's just development, like an industrial park. And then this old house, right? It's so out of place.
It's bizarre.
It is bizarre. Yeah. And then from there it passed to Mr. Rustic, Stanley Rustic, and Stanley Rustic, 1970, 1971, donated it or purchased it or gave it to the Somerset Historical Society. And from then on, which is now about 50 years, right? It's been in the hands of the Historical Society. So that's sort of a nutshell, not nutshell, of what we're getting ourselves into here, of the kind of information we were picking up there.
Yeah, 400 years of information.
You have the Native American trails. Do you want me to put that on the screen?
Yeah, put that up because this is fun too. So I wanted to show this here, just of how significant the Native American, actually the trails in the area were to where we were doing this investigation. So that red star is where this house is. It's right on the Raritan River there. And Somerville, you can see, is to the left of this. And one of the main throughways for the Lenape is just north of this. So they would have gone up and down this whole riverway and would have been very close to this farm, the whole land of this. And there was like 800 to 2,000 acres that were owned at one time. So yeah, really close proximity.
That's wild. That's wild.
Right. And if you're not living where we live, just to mention it, I don't think we said it, it's the Raritan River that she's referring to.
Yeah, the Raritan River.
The Raritan River.
Right on the Raritan River. It's one of like the last Raritan mansions that are left, they say. Yeah.
Right.
You also have a thing here for the map of the Revolutionary houses.
Sure. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this are the historic houses of the Middlebrook encampment of that spring winter of 1778 to 1779. And we have the Van Vechten house in the middle here. And then just to the left, on the other side of Somerville, is the Wallace house, and that's where General Washington stayed.
Right. And another fun fact is I live right next to the Wallace house, and I visited, and George Washington and Martha Washington actually lived there for 6 months, and you can stand in their bedroom where they lived for 6 months.
Yeah, that's cool.
Which is a little overwhelming, really, historically. You know, I mean, one thing if he slept there, another thing if they slept there for 6 months.
Yeah. Right, like because they stayed everywhere almost in New Jersey.
Yeah. Right, exactly.
So,
right. Somebody said they're hearing an echo. Anybody else hearing an echo? Just to fix it before we keep going.
yeah, I did hear an echo too, but I don't think it's.
Okay,
I don't know.
Just making sure.
Well, nobody else is talking. So.
Okay.
Okay. If we hear echo, we'll see. We'll adjust that. I have a picture of a fireplace here, pictures of the side of the house, and you want me to put that on?
Sure. Let's give people just an idea of what it looks like just outside. Yeah. I mean, no, actually, yeah, that's inside, but sure, whatever. Just give people an idea.
Well, we do got one more outside the side of the house.
Sure. Yeah, you can see the different color brick, you know, just from different times building onto it, like all the houses of that era. Yeah.
You could tell when you see old house what era just by the color of the brick or who the brick maker is.
I mean, but that's beautiful brick. And Kim has a fun fact about the brick.
Yeah, so the original house that was on this property was actually built by Michael, the grandfather, or the one who's first moved there. And they believe that house either burnt down or was destroyed somehow. And then they built this one. And then it was expanded on in around 1830. And this brick, and it's a miraculous brick, right? For being
beautiful.
So old, I was like, why is it so well preserved? Well, apparently it was all imported from Holland. So it's all that very good Holland, Netherlands mud and supplies.
Yeah. The mud from
that wet ground. Yeah. Right.
So good.
Yeah, I got one more here. And this is a library. The library one.
There's Nicole.
There's Nicole.
There's Nicole.
Yeah, there's Nicole.
And she's standing
we'll
there
talk all about it.
With a glass and everything on. It look like she's ready to take a book and read.
She does look very scholarly.
She looks.
That's a nice way to say nerdy.
Oh, hey, you know, like I say, talk nerdy to me. What, Nicole and Susan, what was your first impression when you came upon the house?
I'm gonna get that off, Nicole. Okay.
Kind of like what you guys said. We came around the middle of nowhere, like you're surrounded by warehouses, and we're going down the road, and we're like, did we did we miss the road? Are we going in the right place? You know, and the GPS is like, oh yeah, keep going. We're like, where are we going?
Right.
So it's really,
because you never think that this place is going to come up on your left. You know, you're in this whole area that's like very industrial, very warehousey, and then this beautiful building just like rolls up on you.
Right. Exactly. It just had a dead end. Yeah, exactly. You can see how people miss it.
Mm-hmm.
Why would you go down
there? The land around there with all the factories and everything there, that was the original land of these buildings, of the owner of
Yes.
this
There
location.
were many, many, many more acres, hundreds of acres.
Yes,
Yeah.
on both sides of the Raritan, he had land. Mhm.
Was he
Right.
a farmer? Did they plant? What was it?
Mhm.
His trade?
Yeah, it was mostly a farm. It was mostly a farm for many, many years. And I would say it turned into more of a livestock farm
Right.
in the Meyer family. So around 1889 is when he bought it. And from then until the 1940s, it was a world famous, actually, Holstein cow breeding facility.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Awesome.
right. I know.
I know,
in the
right?
middle of-
Right here in New Jersey.
right in the middle of Somerset County, New Jersey.
It's okay.
Cows.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it was
That's
huge.
interesting.
Huge.
Very interesting.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So, you want to do
I say we dive in.
you dive in? How about the
Let's
reading?
dive in.
The reading
Yes,
first. Or-
let's dive in. So the first thing
Go.
we did is we had Richard Moshala. Many of you know him who are watching. And if you don't know him, find him, learn about him. He was there with us. We had Carmela and Todd Cocotilo, Team Coco,
Yeah.
with us from 222 Paranormal Research. And who else did we have with us? We had Lisa, and we had Stacy Chrysopoulos from Team Parasite, my team. And that's it, right? Correct?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
a couple of the historians were there with us.
right. So I mentioned everybody because both Richard and Kim did readings. They're both psychic mediums, and they did readings on the outside, but we have Kim's on video. So we thought we'd start with that because that was so successful last time, and then we can get into the actual investigation, which was really good.
Yeah.
And the evidence.
And a caveat to this also is I don't know information when I go to locations. After I go to the locations is when I
Right.
dive into all the history and take
Right.
all these newspaper clippings and stuff. So take it with a grain of salt. I always say if you're reading psychically or mediumistically, what you see, I like to have it backed up with evidence, but that does not necessarily mean that what you're seeing or experiencing did not happen, because the history
Right.
books obviously didn't capture everything, every event, every name, every person. So it's great when we can back it up with history. And if not, we take it with a grain of salt and we're like, meh, and just kind of
never
go
know.
with it that way.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So we're going to play the first one. It's land. Number
Great.
one, land.
Yep, yep,
okay?
yep.
And this, I
Great.
think, is the opening of your thing. So here we go.
So I'm seeing this area flat for miles. It's just flat, treeless for miles, miles and miles and miles. This was I feel like this was a massive farm. I want to say livestock. I want to say cattle. I want to say crops, but I'm mostly wanting to say livestock. I mean, the whole area is just flat. Even behind us was just flat. This house was put here because of that road was there originally. The main road that we came in was there originally. And then this was just off of the road. They're like, not much is left. Not much is left of what this was. Not much is left of what this was. So they're telling me that this house, I'm going absolutely back into the 1700s with this house. This may even be, I'm going to say 1740s, 1720s. I mean, like very old. And the land and the property, I don't know. I don't think this was the first house that was built on this property. I think this is the second one from the family.
That's interesting, because you said the road was originally there, and we looked at the map with the Native Americans trails. So that was probably one of the roads they were talking about that actually probably they paved over it and they cut through and used it. Very interesting.
Yeah. And you didn't mention the bridge, Kim.
I
There's the Van
didn't, you're
Vechten
right.
Bridge.
You're right. I did not mention the bridge. Tell us about the
So-
bridge, Jenny.
Oh no! I mean, that was a huge bridge back a long time ago. It was called the Van Vechten Bridge over the Raritan River. It's a huge source of traffic.
It's interesting because you see it all flat and cleared, and people often think, right, if you go back to Revolutionary time, everything was wooded. Most things were cleared because they used all the trees for everything. So
Right.
your vision is actually probably what it did look like for miles and miles. It would be a
Right.
clear cut.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
Right.
it's a
And you
good
can't
point.
see the river. That's a good point. You can't see the river right now, so
Well, they fill it in.
you just can't see it from there. It's just not visible
So,
from the trees and everything. Right.
here's the second one. The second
Great.
reading. It says revolutionary.
About this. He's like, literally all what you need to know is about this revolutionary history. That is the most important part of the history of this land and of the history of this area. The Revolutionary War started here. Drama. I don't know, there's drama here about it. So what they're showing me is secrets coming in, knocking on doors, secrets coming out, secrets coming in, knocking on doors. So I do believe whoever lived here either I don't know, there's something about a brigadier general. So this is absolutely historical to the Revolutionary War. This house is extremely important to the Revolutionary War. A meeting here of importance. So what I'm seeing generals sitting down at a table, and their knees are crossed, their legs are crossed, and they're sipping tea. This is tea that they're sipping, and they're having a really intense conversation about strategy.
Like war planning.
Yeah, and also, but coordinating the volunteers in the area, coordinating the volunteers for the Revolutionary War in this area. This was a key meeting place, or the person who lived here, the gentleman who lived here. So I'm seeing this gentleman. I do see him with white hair. So I do believe he passed into his later years. I want to say into his 60s or 70s. And I do see him rounder. I don't see him being extremely thin. I see him being rounder. I see him with facial hair as well. And he's wearing boots, but they're muddy boots. So these would be riding boots, but they're muddy riding boots. So he would, working class, but prominent and wealthy in the area. Yeah, he's showing me that he literally had to make a stop. I don't know if it was on this road, but he's showing me at some point in the town and in the community, they set up a stop. He's showing me setting up a stop. They gathered together and set up a stop. I think this is Continental. I think they're stopping the British. And there was words passed in code. So there was scrolls that were passed with code.
You'd have to decode whatever message was written.
Yes, so there were messages being passed into this house that they had to decode. And the person who lived here knew how to decode them. Yeah, there was a whole secret group of them that were here.
That's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Especially with the decoding back then, they did have the Revolutionary War with George Washington. He did have spies, and the reason I found that out because in Oyster Bay, Long Island, there's a house. Forgot the name, but it was one of the first spies of George Washington, and they didn't find out that until 1920s, where they found a letter that was to him that was buried in the wall from George Washington. Thank you for being a spy. And then they had books that they actually had the code because they used numbers. So you had a number, you wanted a name. So the guy touched with the code. They only seen the number of the who it was going to, and they have a whole thing of code. So George Washington did have spies. So there was a decoding book. There was decoding books and everything on that, and it was all over. I know we had it over here in Long Island and in Brooklyn and everything. So very interesting.
I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. And as we go through the episode today, you'll see exactly where Kim might be talking about. So keep in mind her reading, and that as we go through the house and you hear about the history, some things might come up, and you'll see. It's pretty impressive, Kim.
Okay. And here's the third one, Van Vectin.
Yeah.
So now I'm getting an R name. This is Robert or Roger. I feel like this man is much less wealthy. He's like the poorer version. I almost feel like this may have been the second owner of the house. And why is he coming forward? He was more focused on the farming part of it. Less committed to the politics. But okay, so I feel like this man's family is now the one that would stay with the house for a long time. Like 100 years after this. 100 years, 150 years. He's showing me the tree. And again, he's saying, this man is saying buried on the property. I think this man passed in his middle-aged. I would want to say in his 50s. And he worked very hard for his life and his money. It was not as financially lucrative for him as it was for the person before him on this property. Again, I feel like this was the second owner of the house. I don't feel like this is the person who built the original house. He may have added on, but he was more focused on the farming, the land. Like he was more of like brainchild of the land. I also feel like he may have expanded on the property, so he may have actually purchased more land than the first person.
Mm-hmm.
I do feel like this is the gentleman who built this property. I want to say he's Dutch or German, because he has an accent when he's speaking to me. He's also a little harsh in his words. He says they're buried here. So there is a cemetery here. There's bodies here. There's a cemetery here. Unmarked or marked, but there's the family is here. Buried. He's like, you can go to it. And he's saying that you can go to this, and he's like, the actual like history of the family, he's like, it's a lot. So I think there were a lot of kids, a lot of relatives. So he's like, if you try and pick out like one person from the family, like you're not going to be able to do it because there's just like so many. And he's like, they were all like a lot of similar names. So, but I do feel like this man was the head of the family.
That's something. You said cemetery. Before, when I was watching your videos, before we went on, I felt there was a bunch of children buried on that grounds outside. And I'll play the next one, then I'll elaborate a little more with that. But I feel there was a lot of children, and I think they died from some kind of plague or, something that happened back then, some kind of virus or whatever. But I think because when I was watching it earlier, I had that thing with, there was a cemetery. I didn't watch this one through, so I didn't know you said there's a cemetery outside. So that was interesting when you said that. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, and looking at the family tree is, literally, Derek had like 6 children plus or minus. Michael had 8 children plus or minus. Richard had 10 children plus or minus.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot going on. And
Yeah.
we definitely picked up some evidence of children being there, and we will get that to full moon as well, because that was a really cool part of the investigation that you guys picked up. And so we'll get to that as well. But yeah, these children are important to this location. Yeah.
I feel there is when you said that, I was like, that's what I felt. I felt there's a like a graveyard somewhere in there. I bet they did some kind of search with cadaver dogs. I'll probably come up with a lot of location there.
So there is a cemetery, a family cemetery not on the current property where it is, that's documented, but they did actually build a church on their property, and there is a cemetery that's still there associated, but the church is now burnt down. It's about a half a mile away, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, and there's also 2 graves separate it's Michael and his daughter.
Yes.
Was any
Yeah.
slaves on the land or any kind of
Mhm.
servants and everything?
Yes.
So that could be a separate cemetery also.
Oh yeah. Yeah, they had a
Oh,
lot.
plenty. They had a
servants.
lot.
Because they wouldn't be
actually.
buried. They wouldn't be buried with the family. They would have their
No.
own.
Where
It
am
would be marked.
And
You
it's
wouldn't know
not-
where it is.
What was that, Nicole?
Sorry.
Where are Michael and his daughter buried?
About about at the end of the light at the end of the street, that's where the main cemetery is. But where you turned right to get to it, that's
Mhm.
where the main cemetery is. But then the other one is closer to my house, like
Yeah.
towards Somerville. And it's
There's-
in the middle of an apartment complex at the top of a hill. There's a little a covering, and underneath it these two gravestones.
That's
Wow,
interesting.
Yeah, it's pretty neat.
that is very neat.
Just in the middle of a complex.
The next video is marked. Next reading is marked children. So that's why I said I'm going to
Okay.
elaborate a little more. About
Yeah.
Yeah, lots to talk about.
So now I am seeing small children who have passed, and what I'm seeing them doing is I'm seeing them in dresses and they're skipping around and they're playing. So they're playing around. Now I don't know if they have cameras outside, but I would imagine that they would see dancing lights or dancing orbs. I also want to say that they have either motion sensors. They're saying outside, so motion sensors outside. Maybe these are lights.
Yeah, I see him.
Do they?
That might be it.
Okay, that go off, and they don't know why they're going off because there's nothing there. Those are the children. Those are the children bouncing around. There's multiple of them, varying ages. I want to say, gosh, I mean almost all ages. But what I'm particularly seeing is there's a young girl. I do feel like this is the R man's daughter, a young girl. I would want to put her 8 to 12 years old. I want to maybe even 8. I'm going to stick on the 8. Precious. E-name. Actually, the name Marcy is also coming up with this. Young boys as well. I see another one named Thomas. A boy named Thomas. They do tricks in the house. I'm seeing a jacket falling off somebody's chair, like a jacket falling off of a chair. I'm seeing books coming off the shelf. I'm seeing, and they're saying there's not enough toys in there for them. Okay, so I think they would like more toys. They love being outside. Like I'm literally seeing them like skipping and hopping and like having a grand old time. They would love to communicate more. They would love to talk more. They would love to be interacted with.
That's very interesting. When you were talking, remember I made a drawing?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
On that little porch on the side there, it looks like you can see there's chairs there and stuff, but there is a cutout in the wall that has a round arch on it.
It's a beehive oven.
Okay.
Beehive oven, excuse me. It's a
But this
beehive
is-
oven.
When you guys first went and then you're talking about it, and this is before we do it, I drew this picture. And you see the archway?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you said it's a little girl that sets it off outside.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Maybe
got
I
the
misled
arch.
with the what do you call it, the stairs and everything.
Stairs.
But I did see a little girl there. Like that.
It makes sense. And there's an entrance on the side there, so.
So maybe I'm just but that's, to me, that might be something, because you said there was children and everything else. So you never
Yep.
know.
No, and we definitely did some investigating with children. Full
Right.
moon.
We got one
Full
more.
moon and I.
We did.
We
Mhm.
got one more. It says
I have-
same woman.
Okay.
Okay, we'll get that, and then we'll go right into the other thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm seeing a moaning woman. She's upstairs. Again, I'm seeing lots of children have passed. She is a moaning woman. I feel like she lost her husband. This would be why she's moaning. She lost her husband. I feel like she's a middle-aged woman. I want to put her in her 30s or 40s. She's a moaning woman. It was desperately hard for her. I do feel like she's upstairs here. I feel like it's this window.
Yeah.
Okay. And that'll come up again as well.
Okay. So
Yeah,
Let's get in the house.
let's get in. Let's
Get in the house.
Let's get in the house.
So Nicole and Susan, how did you like this place so far? You know, I mean, you guys investigated there, so how did you guys really think in it?
When we pulled up, I felt a woman, and she was beckoning all of us to come in. And she was so excited to have us there. And she was like, come in, come in. Like, she was so excited because people were going to be able to hear.
Awesome.
That sounds like Kitty Green. She was known to be a really social, you know, she loved to have events and parties and things like that, and loved to have people over. So that's, you know, Quartermaster General Green's wife.
Very young wife.
We got somebody coming.
Very young wife. Lots of scandal here.
Scandal.
We got somebody else.
Lisa.
Lisa.
Hi, guys. Hi,
Welcome, Lisa.
Welcome.
Better
late than never.
Hey, how's the back feeling?
The back feels a lot better. Thank you.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
You missed Kim's reading of the place, but we're going to go into the inside the house now and the actual investigations.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay.
We just asked them what did they think of the house. How would you like the house?
Yeah. What did you think when you pulled up?
Yeah.
Oh, the house was amazing. I thought it was really cool and it had a lot of energy. Very cool place.
Okay.
I would have liked to explore the outside a little bit more. Felt like there was stuff
Right.
out in the back that we never got to experience.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Kim came up with a lot of stuff back there. It was very interesting. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot of layers.
A lot of layers.
Yeah.
I know I missed it, but I was just curious, Kim, did you encounter any like males working out in the fields, like kind of thing?
Men working out in the fields?
Yes. Like
Yeah, I saw the whole area flat, treeless as a farm. Big, massive farm. And
that's what I
mostly
saw, kind of.
livestock, but there was much working out there. And at one point in time, around 1900, like 1910, 1920, there were over like 2,000 livestock out there with 9 houses of different workers and all kinds of barns. So yeah, it was a really, really, really active farm. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
That's
So,
interesting.
bingo.
Yes. Short answer to that, Lisa, is
Bingo.
Sure.
So let's go inside and start the tour and get into the investigation a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, any questions? Just we'll play it and then we'll talk about it like we've been doing.
Sure.
The first one here I have is the original fireplace.
The original kitchen.
Well, kitchen, fireplace, whatever. Something. You know, it's labeled. Here we go.
They think that this room here and the room next door to us are the oldest portions of the house.
Originally was the kitchen.
Yeah.
The fireplace.
Yeah, this is an original. This is original. I guess you would call it a kitchen. It's very small for the size of the house. Most of them you see are usually big walk-in ones.
Right.
But this is tiny for the size of the house. But they are the original hooks and stuff attached to the wall. There is on the outside of the wall there is a beehive oven. Usually you see them inside, but we thought it was switched around, but we were told by somebody that it didn't look like that. That the actual construction was outside. So which is again an odd. It's an anomaly, you know, for different things.
So this is the oldest part above us and here.
Well, the above was probably a loft area. When we go down to the basement is again another anomaly. We had a guy that's done some research in checking the house, and there's a section of wall that just sits in the middle of the floor that doesn't support anything.
Nice.
Can I just say, I can't recall her name. I'm so sorry. She was
Jackie.
such a wealth of knowledge. Jackie, yes. Oh my God, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Jackie.
unbelievable, right?
She knew everything about that house.
Yeah. I know,
Yeah,
and
amazing.
I did put a bunch of videos, just short videos of her talking about things because she could do a better job than I ever could. So I figured let her explain it, and then we can go into and see it a little bit. But yeah, that's the original kitchen, which usually back then they would have a separate kitchen, right? Like outside the building or in the basement or something like that. But that house actually always had a kitchen right there. And you saw the oven, right? You saw the other side of the oven that we mentioned with the arch. So.
Oh yeah, that's
Pretty
where
cool.
Kim was outside, with the other side of that fireplace. That's interesting.
Right. Yeah.
So,
And I just want to mention it is, nothing is original to the Van Vechten family at this point. You see lots of tomahawks and artifacts and things like that. It's really more of a museum at this point. So you have to take that energy into account as well.
the moon ladies here. How did you guys feel in that room? Did you feel anything in that room, or?
I did a little bit, not as strong as other rooms, but I did feel some stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know about you guys.
We worked a little later on in those two.
But it was just incredible. It's such an old building, and to have so much original to it still was just incredible.
So we started in the basement. We started in the basement. You guys went upstairs. Some people went upstairs, but we went in the basement. We started in the basement, which was a really not just like any other basement.
That basement was like a mystery.
It was a mystery, and it was a mystery wrapped in a mystery. There's a wall in the basement that they think maybe was an original wall of the house, a first floor of the home.
Yes.
That's now in the basement, and there's a back door. And we did investigate a little bit, and I include a little evidence here. Nicole and I were in the back there with Kim.
Okay.
Yeah, I interrupted this
we have some EVPs in the basement as well, so we're going to get to those right now.
Yeah, some of that stuff you guys got is interesting. So here's.
Let's go in the basement.
I believe this is what you consider in the basement, since I wasn't there. I feel so left out.
There.
Supporting wall for this portion that was the original house. There's a door over there that goes out to a Belco door outside. We think that may have been the original entrance to the house.
And there's a toilet.
And stuff. There's no explanation for this wall being here.
And it's brick. I mean, it looks like the outside of a house.
Whatsoever. I don't think you can get around over
It's okay. It's okay. I'm just doing this.
Just if you can see the other side. We don't have
the arch.
Over here. And there's two.
I'm gonna investigate.
And we have a brick flooring in here.
I'm like,
the brick.
That's interesting.
Yeah, so that's the wall that they think is, the original wall, the bottom of the house.
Well, Frank had a theory on that wall, didn't he have a theory that wall was supporting a staircase?
Yes.
So a couple different theories on that wall too.
Right. So we got to investigating down there, and some interesting things came up. The first thing that happened is Nicole put her static dome down, and we purposely put it in the area where the back door would be, that people would be walking in and out, in the back by the arch, which we thought might have been another area of cooking. Kim?
Yeah, so it is really interesting. They're not sure when that wall originated, but they do believe it is before the rest of the house, which the rest of the house has been renovated around 1830s.
Right.
So there was originally a 1.5 story house, but they are not sure if it was back there, if it was kind of to the side where the other kitchen was. So it is kind of up in the air.
It's a mystery.
But yeah, the downstairs in that corner felt a little different for me than the rest of the basement, which I was a little surprised about that. And sometimes when we're investigating these locations, those of us who are sensitive, we use this information to help us find out where we want to put tools, what tools we want to use. Hey, this feels a little denser here. Let's put a REM pod here or something, or let's get the SLS out. I'm feeling a sensation here. So in conjunction with that, we started using some of the tools to see if we could get any information, like the DR60 with EVPs.
Right. So we put the static dome and REM pods out, and then we did an EVP session. So the next two videos are at the evidence.
Cool.
What I find interesting about that wall, if you notice the colors of the brick, are different colors, there's multiple colors. So that means that we're an original form to the house, because if you've seen the house, all the same color of the brick. Well, there's different shades as the house gets built up.
Right.
But that is multiple color bricks,
Pretty
different.
cool.
So, and they're different sizes. They're not all the same size bricks. They're smaller one. So that whoever had that house wasn't a person of wealth. If they did have a house there one time, wasn't a person of wealth. They used whatever they had. And at that time, it could have been something from other houses. And every time they will use material from houses that are being knocked down or on fire, whatever material they could take from those houses, and they could use it for another house. So you might have some other stuff going on there that could that could be part of these, the hauntings, because there's houses, there might be multiple houses in that one wall.
Oh, good point, Anthony. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Good point.
It's true.
So being a construction for 30 years does help a little bit.
Way to use your observation skills, Anthony. Way to use. I missed that. That's good.
That makes sense. Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, so it could be multiple spirits there from
They
other
just
places.
used whatever that means they had. Right.
Yeah. Like what if another house completely burnt down and there was, whatever, and then they use that part of that house there, and you're like, oh, picking up a fire or something, and it could actually be from the bones of the structures of the other house. That's interesting. I hadn't thought about that, Anthony. Thank you for that.
Good point.
I got to contribute to the show somehow.
Besides his good looks.
Yeah.
Yes. Hey.
If people watch me for my good looks, they're blind.
Stop it.
Then it'd be a radio station. Okay, so what are we up to
We got
here?
some evidence in the basement. We've got Nicole's
I got number 3 is Kim reading basement. Something like
Kim did a reading in the basement as well. Either way.
Sure. Why don't we do a piece of evidence or not?
Whatever we like.
That's part of
Let's start with Kim's reading.
Numbers.
Sure.
It's in number order. I can't break it because
I know. I'm so particular about my order.
If I break the order, Jenny's going to punish me. Stick me in the house corner with a dunce hat.
I was that kid in school. Yeah.
Yeah. Me, I was a straight D average. I was great. There we go.
Seeing a jacket falling off of the chair, seeing like literally a jacket coming off of the chair, like just he's like, that was me. And then there's multiple girls, like 8-year-olds, 12-year-olds, and they're all like playing. They want more toys. Do you have toys here?
I do.
Yeah. Do we have toys in do you have like children's toys here?
No.
Oh, I think they would like some of those.
Yeah.
Some jacks.
I have some
jacks,
marbles, and I have.
That's like,
it's
been
anything like that.
So, Kim, do you think that the children might be doing things like putting the like she comes in, the candles will be on the floor?
Absolutely. I see books coming off. I see things being
disappearing.
Yes, that would be them.
It happened to me twice.
That would be them. They want to play. They want to interact, but there's actually quite a bit of them.
That would be the answer. Somebody took the thing out of from that first floor and put that up in my purse.
Right.
Yeah, they're playing. They're like it's not like a negative. I don't feel anything.
Just get your attention.
Exactly. Yeah.
So any kind of activity would be like that would be children. So there were 5 children with his second wife.
Right. One of them died as an infant, and then there was 4. There was actually, I think, 2 of them that actually married and had descendants. One of them married into the daughter married into the Frelinghuysen family.
Oh wow!
Yeah, they married into.
You know that name?
Yeah.
It's like we run in their circles.
We hold events at the Frelinghuysen mansion.
There was 2. One was an infant. One died a couple of years later. And so this is just on Michael's.
Ooh.
That's interesting. Jenny, I just want to let you know, if you take your marbles out on a place like that, you might lose your marbles. Stupid joke. Hey.
Oh,
I actually have a question. Who was behind Kim that was squatting?
Oh, that's my husband, Kyle. He came
okay.
with us too. We haven't given him video credits yet, which we should.
No, I apologize.
Oh, but he looked
Kyle
he
Stevens.
looked child size, and I was like, "Who is that back there?" Okay.
Kyle.
Yeah, he does a lot
My
about
husband,
filming
Kyle.
stuff. He's good.
Yes. Yes. Shout out to Kyle. So that was
Yeah,
Kim's
shout out.
reading in the basement. Although I have to say that sounded very pleasant compared to how you felt, because both you and Kyle were like, I'm not going over there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think that was my reading in the corner. That was just kind of
No.
like the summary of what I was
No.
saying to Jackie and the other members. Yeah.
Right, exactly. Because Nicole and I were like, oh, here we go. Here we go. All the sensitives were like, forget it. We're not going over there. So Nicole and I, not being sensitives, we were like, okay, that's
Like,
our job.
we're going over there.
Here we go. That'll be us.
Yep.
That's good.
That's pretty much it. It's like you say they don't want to go and we run. We're like that way.
Yep.
So now I got another basement one.
Yeah, we got a couple,
This is-
some evidence down there.
And this is with the Moon Ladies.
Mm-hmm.
So again, my name is Jenny, and I'm curious, do you recognize any of us?
That's interesting.
Yeah, and the most interesting
Why-
part
why-
of that
Okay,
is
I did
it's a,
wrong one.
if you didn't pick up on it, listen in a British accent.
You want to do it
Which
again?
I do not. I mean, I'm
Yeah,
Dutch. I
play it
don't have
again.
a good British accent.
Yeah. Play them again, like play them twice.
Yeah.
So we can hear
My
them.
name is Jenny, and I'm curious, do you recognize any of us?
Do you hear it?
Yeah.
Do you hear it? It's like, I don't think I recognize.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And at the time, we thought it said Frank because
Yeah.
of
We
the
heard think. And,
Yeah.
you know, we played it out loud and we thought it said Frank. It recognized Frank, who is the president of the Historical Society. And then playing it back, I thought, oh my goodness, that's a whole sentence there. And it's so intelligent, right? It's like, I don't think I recognize you.
Yeah, that was,
But
and
the
that came
accent
out.
got
That
me.
came out pretty clear too. That came out. That's you know you
Yeah.
can hear it. So
Good one.
It's interesting to see what you hear at the time versus what you hear when you sit there
yeah.
and play it back with headphones and everything.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
How many times you get something at a location, then you play back, you got nothing. You're like, what happened to it?
Yeah.
Right. You hear
It's
a whisper,
weird.
it's
Like,
gone.
what?
That's happened to me. Yeah.
Yeah, Rick,
That was a pretty good one. That was in the
For
front of the
sure.
basement, not the rear area where you were uncomfortable.
Yeah, that was right
In
by
the
the
rear
stairs.
area, we did get another EVP, but it was not as nice.
Okay, here we got
Get out. Get out.
get out. I don't have that one. All right,
Nope.
here we go.
Nope.
Too
Nope.
much, no, we have too much stuff. We have so much evidence here.
Okay, here we go.
Do another
This
question.
meter by us also that we can keep an eye on.
Right, exactly.
Oh, that's going off again.
Okay,
So that's
see?
technically changed from that direction. Who's in the corner?
Someone coming in the house? Why don't you come join us? Oh yeah, there we go. See, Frank?
Yeah.
All right, come on in.
I don't want that.
You don't like it? Okay, we'll do it. So this isn't a very active entrance, correct?
That might be closed up.
I mean, at one point.
Well, there's the outside space there's the
Right.
doors with the
Bilko doors. All right, well, come on in. Join us. Are you a child?
No.
No, adult. Okay. Well then, hello. Good afternoon. We're just talking, and you can come join us. Talk with us. As long as you're not a snake, we're good.
Are you getting something on that? Jenny, put your hand up real quick so I know this.
So this is interesting because I think this is more residual. So what was happening on that static dome, because we put it by the door that was really, you know, an active in and out door at the time. And I feel like that was more residual compared to the intelligent, I don't recognize you.
I like that pink K too.
Oh, that's purple, Carmela.
That's
Carmela,
purple?
shout out. The
Good,
famous
it's like-
Cocoa Purple K2.
Purple
Is she
K2.
the purple one or is that my pink one?
Oh, you have a
look
pink one. Okay, so it might have been either one. She has purple, like a light lilac.
Yeah, I have like a baby pink.
Yeah, I think it was your pink one, Nicole, because you were down in the basement with it. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Was
That's
that
true.
near that
She was
wall?
upstairs.
Was that near that wall?
A little bit. Yeah.
Yeah. It was right in the corner where the door is, and on this wall was that arch brick. It was right in the corner.
Like perpendicular.
Yep.
Interesting. Okay, here's
So the
another
basement. Pretty cool.
We got a thing here with Jack. Well,
we're gonna move upstairs now.
We got guests here. You gotta get their opinions too.
Yeah.
So you guys do something, hey. So you guys, I know Lisa, you don't like to talk too much, but I know Nicole doesn't stop. So, so you guys down there, what did you guys feel in that? How did you guys feel down there? Was it, anything that was different than the rest of the house? Was that the worst part or the best part or eerie part?
Are you asking me or just everybody?
I'm mixing in general, but I'd like to hear your voice too.
Oh, well, I personally did not stay down there very long. Susan and I actually went upstairs when everybody was in the basement. So I actually really can't give you an opinion on that because I didn't spend enough time down there to actually. They had what's called cave crickets. I saw those and decided I'd go upstairs.
And snakes. There were snakes.
Snakes too. Oh,
so I was like, I'll let these girls do this area. I'm going to go upstairs. So Nicole would probably answer that the best.
You could go into places with plenty of ghosts and haunted and everything.
Yes.
But you put a cricket in there, you're like, I'm out of here.
No.
Yeah,
it was not crickets. They were cave crickets. Okay, have you seen
very large.
Yeah, I know. I was at a location where I just had a flashlight. I'm walking down this big tunnel. I'm walking, and the guy goes, "Put your flashlight above your head." I put it above the head. There was like thousands crawling across the stand. And I kept on walking to the end. I understand. They fall on you and stuff like that. I'd be like,
"Yep."
I'll take the snakes over the crickets.
Yeah. What about you, Susan? Did you get a feeling about the basement?
No, the same as Lisa. We just went down for a quick visit when everybody was on the original tour.
Yeah, we had to split up.
Yeah, we had to split up. So everybody was trying to spread out.
Big.
So
it's deceivingly big.
It is. Like it seems really small from the outside, but there's a lot of rooms.
Yeah.
It felt very odd down there, just like weird, but I didn't give it enough of a chance to really feel, you know what I mean? Feel it out.
You'll come back. You'll have to
come back. So I will come back.
Good.
For sure.
But not to the basement.
No, I will.
And the snakes. I got lost. Where am I up to now?
We went back upstairs and to Jackie. Let's go back to Jackie and talk about the famous portrait.
Yeah, but when you go on investigation, you don't want to stay in one big group. You want to, you got to separate. That's the only way we get evidence.
Yeah.
You can't stay one group. Yeah,
we do. And we'll get. Believe me, they were in some pretty active rooms, which we're going to get to next.
Okay, here's one with Jackie talking again. Death
about the portrait, right?
No, the death of somebody.
Right. It starts
rebirth. I don't know. I'm just here.
Rebirth of somebody.
Rebirth. I don't know. I'm just here.
Amazing.
Eric, who was his son, he was born in 1699.
I just like behind Jackie. You see the person looking in the hall there? Carmela going, like she's just peeking in. It's like,
Hi.
What's going on here?
Eric, who was his son, he was born in 1699. He was baptized at the Dutch Reformed Church in August of 1699. So we know he was born on or about July, August of that year. So we know just about when he was born. That's how we know that portrait is not Derek.
Right.
Because he would have been too old for that. That's
But you think it might be Mike?
We think it might be Michael because Michael was born in 1760.
Okay, now we get to the famous portrait.
Another mystery.
that she's talking about. So it's the Van Vechten family who donated a portrait to the Historical Society from North Carolina somewhere. Somebody is there, and nobody knew who it was. And one of the things they asked us to do is find out who is in this portrait. So we have a couple of things about the portrait that I included here. Some videos about the portrait, including a drawing by Richard Moschella before he got there.
No, I guess that's my cue.
Yeah, that's your cue.
These are Rich's drawings of a woman who's prominent in the home. Heavier gentleman in the older part of the home. And this, we believe, is the same person. This is left side of property. Look at this man with a collar and a sword. And then look at this resemblance. When I saw this picture, he drew this outside before the place was unlocked. And look at this. He didn't even know about this portrait. He'd never been here. Look at that similarity. With the collar and everything. Look at that collar, that high white collar. Exactly the same. He's amazing. Richard Moschella, people. Here. Spirit artist. Look at the closed set eyes and the eyebrows. Here, I'll put them together. If I can. Ready? Unbelievable, the hair. Unreal.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I saw that photo and I was literally like, that's the painting. I was like,
Yeah.
that's
It's the nose.
Yeah.
He got the nose, like the little bit of the crooked nose. How would he? No, that's not generic.
No, even the eyes, the shape of the eyes. You can see with the shape of the eyes also, and even the chin, the way, and of course the collar and everything. That was awesome.
That was a really good
And
one.
the plot thickens a little bit because going back and looking at those pictures, those portraits again that Richard drew, the first man after the woman looks actually just like Bernard Meyer. There's a photo of him I found in a newspaper clipping, and it actually looks just like him. So I think that's probably Mr. Meyer that he drew there, would be my guess, because he also is having the overalls and he looks a little bit later in time. So like
that's amazing.
Yeah.
That is something. That's very cool.
Yeah, I don't have the clipping
Very
to
nice.
show you that, but I really think that's him.
I mean, there's multiple spirits there. It must be.
Didn't the woman match up with someone as well?
I think it looks like Kitty Green.
Wow.
I've never seen a picture of Kitty Green, so I don't know.
Yeah. But I mean, do we all agree that picture is the portrait?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Hands down.
I mean, yeah.
Which is very talented. Very talented.
Amazing. So, I mean, it didn't solve the mystery. It just was, okay, Richard's drawing of the portrait before he got there. But we did get a response. We asked who's in the portrait in an EVP session, and we got a response.
Yeah.
Is that the response? You have one of the videos here, and there's an EVP with it. Is that the response?
Yeah, portrait EVP.
You want me to play that now?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was.
So remember, it's not Derek Van Vechten, but they think it might be Michael or somebody else, but we don't know at this point. We have no idea. So we ask.
Okay, here we go.
Can you tell us who's in this painting?
I'll do it again.
Can you tell us who's in this painting?
Michael.
Do you hear it?
Michael.
Do it again.
Clear as
You didn't hear
day.
it?
That is clear as
Oh, Susan, you hear it. Okay, good. Okay.
You guys want to? You can hear it, or you want to do it again?
You
One
can do
more
it
time.
again because it's so good.
It's so good.
Yeah, it's really clear.
I could play it all the way to 10 o'clock if you want me to.
It's so clear. It's so
Here we go.
clear.
Can you tell us who's in this painting?
It's so clear. You would think somebody in the room said Michael.
Yeah, but we were all there.
Because it's so
I mean,
clear.
we were all
And at
there.
the end, it sounds like it starts to say a last name at the end, but like cuts off. But the Michael part is so clear.
So clear.
Yeah. I mean, we were all there when we asked the question, so we know that, you know, nobody else was talking. We were in a circle in the room, the pretty frisk room, which we will get to.
Yeah, and just to be clear, this would be Michael, Derek's son, because there's a Michael who is Derek's father also, and that really threw me for a loop who we were talking about. But it would be Derek's son, Michael, who
based on
was
his
born
clothing.
in 1764 and died in 1831.
That's interesting.
Most definitely.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we were able to solve an age-old mystery for this family.
That's it is. And since it said the name there, because it's sitting there, that means that spirit's at that location. Or it's attached to that picture.
No, I would necessarily say that, because when you ask a question, spirit may know. So it's not necessarily somebody who is actively there or actively present. It can just be a spirit responding to your question.
Another spirit.
Someone who recognizes it. Someone recognizes them.
That's
maybe. Yeah.
But what it does say, it's an intelligent spirit, an intelligent that knows what we're asking and can give us an accurate response.
And it's a male. Mel said it too.
Yeah, it was a male. Yeah.
It's a male.
Yeah.
And that's very cool. You know?
Yeah.
And Richard have the drawing of it, and then that.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Paranormal lasagna, baby. That's layers.
I love that.
So what I love going to locations, one of the things I love being a paranormal investigator or a paranormal historian is being able to help these questions. And I know it's kind of, wishy-washy. We're getting this information on an EVP and a DR60, so, you can take it with a grain of salt. But being able to provide an answer to a historical society who has been asking a question like that for 50 years or whenever this was donated to them, I mean, job well done, everybody, right? Job well done. Everybody was there helping them out, figure out who this is.
Yeah.
Yeah. And in one session, typically you'd have to go back like 4 or 5, 6 times. You guys all work with older buildings all the time, right?
Yes.
You work with buildings from the 1700s.
I always wonder too if it's us because we're bringing a bunch of sensitives a lot of times into rooms as well as skeptics, but I wonder if that fuels the fire a little bit too and helps them to talk.
Yeah.
I feel it is. It's only when you bring people that's sensitive and everything, I feel it like opens it up, and it's like a magnet. It draws spirits that usually can't associate or contact anybody because they're close to it. Now you got people that are open to it; they'll come in.
And they're like, "Wow, they can hear me, and they can sense me, and I'm gonna say what I need to say while they're here."
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. They're asking.
They don't have to be on the location. They'll come from other locations just to be there.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I think it has a lot to do with the energy of the group as well. Like we have a very good group that's really used to working together. And I think that affects the activity you get from the spirits.
That's such a good point. That's such a good point. We are all used to working together, and Richard and the Cocos and we're all used to working together, and we sort of, we have that vibe.
Yeah,
we bring positive energy to a lot of these
locations. A good group of people.
Yeah.
And we bring positive energy.
Yes.
And we all seem to like each other for some strange reason.
I know.
It's like, hey, but we all like each other, and that's the whole thing. If you got the positive energy and you bring it in, you're going to get positive back. Okay, of course you're going to get some negative because some spirits don't like positive, but it's okay, But that's what I think. Sure. They draw to us because we each are different. We like cartoon characters. each of us, somebody likes a different cartoon character more than the other, and they get drawn to you. They feel that the spirit could associate with you a lot better than somebody that's closed or just don't want to, just annoys it.
Yep. And like Kim mentioned before, go ahead.
I thought that going there, because Jenny being Dutch and it being Dutch, I was really like, are they going to be more open because of that connection with her?
Yeah, good point. Yep.
Yeah, that's positive. Yeah, and they, even know the language and everything. So.
Yeah. Right. And they took a look at me and they thought, well, put some clogs on her and put her on the front lawn, like in a little statue.
Yeah. So our next video is Jackie, pretty little frisky.
The pretty little frisk. We finally get to the most famous thing about the home.
Okay, here we go.
Here we go, the frisk.
The pretty little frisk. And Nathaniel thought this was the neatest thing since sliced bread and wrote a letter to a friend of his up in Rhode Island, Jeremiah Wadsworth. And we have on the wall there with the pink surrounding is a facsimile of the letter that he wrote.
That's so cool.
Yeah, telling everybody about how General Washington danced with Catherine for up to 3 hours without sitting down.
How about that? In this room?
And this room here.
Isn't that cool? I love that name, Pretty Little Frisk. We had a pretty little frisk. It sounds so naughty.
That is definitely not.
It's a pretty room, right?
Definitely not Derek, because that is not the cut of a cloth of somebody in the middle 1700s. That's more. I would say probably we were kind of figuring it's probably something like 1790 to about maybe 1810, 1812 with that. And
we're going to try and figure out. That's Michael. We'll ask some questions. All right, we're holding. Let's move up. Move up, shall we? You guys, she want to know everything?
3 hours. That was pretty scandalous.
And with Kitty Green. Yeah. Without sitting down. That's my favorite part.
Without sitting down.
Without sitting down. With those shoes, I don't think so. Those shoes, the old shoes that they have, the buckles and everything, with the time where they dress,
Yeah.
And what time of year was it? Was it in the summer? Because there's no way nobody's dancing 3 hours in a hot house.
No, it was in the winter. It was in the winter. They were there the winter.
They might have been dancing to keep warm.
Yeah.
But you wonder, with the lady of the house, he was dancing. But then again, sorry, my cat, of course.
George Washington was a general at that time.
Yeah, well, he was the general.
He was the general
at that time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It was fun that we tried to recreate that. Like we played the music and tried to kind of stir up.
Why don't you tell everyone about that? What we did.
So when we go into places, we try to kind of reenact things sometimes. So hopefully somebody would want to come out and relive their glory days at the Pretty Little Frisk with us.
Yeah, we often find that music is a great trigger.
Mm-hmm.
Great trigger. Yeah.
I got a record player and I've been meaning to bring it. I did bring it to Shanley, but that time and I forgot the the power cord. So that was shot. But I think that's
so he sang.
Trigger. Yeah. If I sing it's like exorcism, they're gonna be running away. It's like it could be Pell. So I think music is a great thing. I use it many a times through the years at different locations, and we were at the Brownsville prison, and we were down the basement, and we had a rampart like from the staircases going across, and we played music, and all of a sudden, like one of the rampart went off at the end of down the end of the hall. And then it came to the middle, and then it came to us. And we played the music. They were like, it was like they was dancing back and forth because they were like blinking different. And it was really interesting. So I love music when it comes to, playing, with spirits. Getting into my trigger objects again. I'm getting old. Okay.
So this is where you guys, all three of you, come in. So we're going to move to that. Do you remember the original kitchen? If you've been watching since the beginning, the original kitchen. Next to it, yes, in the beginning. Next to it is a room with more Native American artifacts and also some sewing. Like a spinning wheel and some quilting and things like that. And we set up there and in that original kitchen with some trigger objects for children. And boy, whew,
okay,
we got lots of evidence, and we're going to play that now. So this is the full moon special right here. They were all there.
I got a full moon for you, special too.
I know.
And that's really paranormal. So here we go.
Are you still here? Gone. Wow. But there'd be no reason for that to just, when I said get closer to it and we'll light the lights, and it went immediately right up.
There's a marble over there on the floor, a clear one with a red thing on top. Can you push that over this way so we can have it with all the marbles over here? It does something fun when you push it.
We'll close the door and we'll do EVPs in here. I want to do EVP in every room because I just feel like you never know. Like, why not? I'm a DR60 hog. Like, I just play that. No, I mean, I do a session in every room.
Because it
works.
Yeah. Because all they have to do is talk. They don't have to touch these things or they have to do
I mean, can I shut that door? I'll just leave it out. Sometimes I just put it out. You know what I got the other day at the Willows? Allie was giving me a tour in the kitchen and I put it on the thing. I was like, oh, wow, that looks amazing. And then right over me saying amazing, it goes, wow. No kidding. It wasn't me because I'm like, oh, that looks amazing out loud. Like I wouldn't stop,
cool.
Yeah, it goes,
that kitchen was amazing.
Yeah, it goes, wow, right over me. I got some great EVPs there.
This one keeps
yeah, that one looks just steady. But that was not, look, it's dead now. And then it went all the way up when I said it.
The second one's teetering a little bit. Right. Just a little bit.
Okay, so clearly that wasn't the right video. I'm so sorry.
Well, we got marked here.
Enjoy us talking for a minute.
No, you're fine. You're fine. That was the second half that was edited out. It's okay. Just like, this is what's going to happen. We just get started. So in the beginning of that video, our K2 is going off with the marbles. And this is the interesting part, is we felt the motion detector and the REM potty in the other room would go off, and then in our room it would go off, and then the other room would go off, and our room would go off. And it was like somebody was running back and forth, between the two, which was really cool.
Yeah.
Like maybe a child, we all thought maybe a child sort of thing. And we had some EVPs in that room as well, and some other stuff that we actually have an EVP for you to hear. But one of my favorite EVPs in this room is Susan, I believe, said, what animals, one of you said, which animals did you see in the back of the house? Do you remember that? And the EVP comes back, rabbits, which was true, right? I mean, that would make sense. I mean, cows, yes, but rabbits. But I just thought it was interesting that we felt like something was running back and forth. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Yes. Both rooms were going off. One would go off, our room would go off. Back and forth.
Exactly.
Kim had the kids running back and forth.
That original kitchen with stuff set up, and as soon as it would stop over there, it would start in that other room.
Right. So it was pretty interesting.
But didn't Kim have her reading?
Kind of messing with us, like Catch Me If You Can.
Yes.
Like now, now I'm over here. Yeah.
Like I said, Kim had with her reading the kids running back and forth, so maybe they were chasing rabbits.
That's because it was a squirrel outside. That's what we were talking about, the squirrel outside, and we were asking them if they could see the squirrel.
Right.
Oh, okay.
Right, exactly. So we did get an EVP in that room. That's pretty clear that we can play with you guys.
With them.
Not with the Willow ladies.
Not the
Willow House. Wrong end of that video. Hey, it's okay. Episode 2, people. We'll get there.
We get there.
We're just keeping it real.
This is an EVP you got. The Van Vectin family. See, I said it right again. Look at that. I think I'm starting to get proud of myself.
Should be, Anthony. I'm proud of you again.
Oh, thank you.
So this was
Like I said, don't get
Lisa,
used to it.
Nicole, Susan, and me, and Stacy.
Okay, here we go. And it's not the Willow House again?
No.
No.
Hopefully not.
Here we go.
Are you related to one of the Van Edison family?
That's so wild. That's great. I'm
Do
gonna
you
it
guys
one more
hear
time.
that?
Play it again. Play it again.
Did you guys hear it?
Yes.
I
We're
do.
gonna do it again anyway, so you can hear it again and again and again and again and again.
Are you related to one of the Van Edison family?
That's wild how they came out.
Yeah.
It's
One more
very
time.
On the DR60.
Information on the word family too.
Mhm.
Family.
We'll do it one more time so everybody can hear it. Here we go.
Are you related to one of the Van Edison family?
That's wild.
So I have a question. Was this, because I wasn't there for this part. So this was after all of the devices went off in that same room?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
Lisa or Susan and Nicole, did you guys feel like it was children that were in there? Or what was your experience of that?
I did feel like it was kids.
Yeah.
Like kind of playing like a game of hide and seek. That's what I was feeling like. And I don't know if I communicated that with you guys, but I did feel like they were like, oh, we're going to run over here and hide, and let's see if they hear us over here. But
And there was
that's what
an
I felt like.
exterior door. Felt like something was coming in and out of the exterior door.
Interesting.
Or in that room.
That is interesting.
Yeah, the interactions were very, very childlike. Like with the K2, the part that you didn't see was it would light up when we asked, okay, do you like the green marble? Do you like the red marble? And things like that. So it seemed very childlike.
Right.
And it seemed to be answering our questions, interacting with them.
Yeah. So intelligence. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Exactly. Exactly.
And which room was that? Where was that?
That was the original kitchen, right?
Yeah, it was right next to it. Right.
Which used to he said sewing, right? Eventually didn't they have women and people in there sewing?
Sorry about my cat.
Yes.
Yeah. Sewing. They did what did they do? Embroidery or sewing or something like that?
They make fabric or weave or something.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Exactly.
The looms or whatever.
Yeah, the loom was in there.
Yeah.
So they actually made fabric there, and what, for the family, or they sold it?
I think it was a business.
A business.
That right? Yeah.
Yeah, they sold fabric, right? They had were in there.
I don't remember. I don't want to quote that.
Multiple women, right?
Something about fabrics, but I don't know exactly.
Right. And Nicole did an SD session as well. Do you remember that?
Oh yeah.
In there. And some of the words that going back and reviewing it, some of the words that you said were things like Indian, and you said injury, and I'm sleeping here. And that's interesting because, the Continental Army did stay there.
That's funny. Well,
Derek
had mentioned that was on the property. The encampment was actually on the property. Right. Not very close to the house, but it was absolutely on their property.
And did she tell us that day? Because I don't remember hearing her say that.
I don't think so.
No, because it just
I don't remember anything
resonates with stuff I got upstairs when I was running Phasma. I wrote a lot of stuff down. So anyway, continue. I'm sorry.
Okay.
No, it's good.
We got a thing when you're running plasma. I'm gonna do it right now.
Yeah, we do.
Plasma. Hey.
Hey.
Plasma?
Yeah. Plasma.
Yeah.
Plasma. I take the picture.
Plasma box.
We should do a game show of just showing pictures of items and being like, Anthony, what's the name of this? And then we just
it's
take the
Yeah,
H out.
blooper reel. We're definitely going to use that for the blooper reel, the plasma box.
The plasma.
Yeah.
Yay. Yeah. Get
And
some
that
blood in it.
video.
Okay, yeah, here's the bloody box. There we go.
Wow. What's in the room that you're sitting in?
That's Volt. That's Volt. Does that mean anything?
No.
Can you speak loud and clear, please?
Are you Dutch?
So you might wonder why I included this, because you said something like "that's Volt" or something.
Yeah.
Right? And it sounded so German to me, you know? I was like, gosh, that really sounds German. I don't speak German. People have this misconception that Dutch and German are the same. But then I thought, you know, maybe, just maybe, you could really think that it could be something like "dat is vol," like in Dutch, that's full. Like it's really close. "Dat is vol."
Mm-hmm.
"Dat is vol." Like you said, "dat is vol." You know what I mean? Like
Right.
it was close. Like it was more German what you said. But I thought, well, you know, that's the phasma, and you're saying what you hear. And I thought,
Right.
you know what? I wonder if that's Dutch. I mean, I
And
would
what does
know.
that mean
but I
in
mean,
Dutch?
like,
What did it mean
you
in
say?
Dutch? What did
That's
it mean?
full. It's full. That's full.
Oh,
Full.
it's
Full.
full. Okay.
Yeah.
What was the
So
question that you played? Want to do that again?
yeah, it's not, it doesn't really answer it, but it occurred to me that maybe it was sort of like Dutch that you were hearing, you know, you may
Okay.
have heard a "t" at the end, but there was no, you know.
Want we do it one more time?
Yeah, yeah. Mhm.
That looked terrible.
Wow. What's in the room that you're sitting in?
That's Volt. That's Volt. Does that mean anything?
No.
Can you speak loud and clear, please?
Are you Dutch?
So the question was, what room you're in?
What's in the room?
What's in the room? So
Yeah.
maybe it's full.
Yeah,
It's full.
exactly. Yeah.
It was
Going
full.
back and watching it, first of all, I thought it's cool. It's definitely a different language, right? It could be German, it could be something else. So that's why I wanted to play it. But then I thought, does it say "dat is full"? You know, in Dutch, it's full.
It answers the question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It does though, because there's a lot of stuff. If you're asking like what's in this room, it's full of stuff.
Yep. It made sense. But in any case,
Yeah.
I thought maybe that's, you know, because you don't always, it's like telephone, right? With phasma.
Yeah.
Like you hear what you think you hear. But I thought about it and I went, that just could be Dutch. That's why I said, are you Dutch?
Mm-hmm.
So
That's
hopefully we
interesting.
can go back and maybe ask some, you know, EVP questions in Dutch and get an answer.
So.
Yeah, and I have gotten other languages on Phasma before, so it's definitely not
Yes,
hard to
we
get
have.
other languages on.
Have you
Phasma.
guys?
Yeah,
yeah.
I've gotten Spanish.
Oh,
Almost what sounded like Italian one time.
really?
Oh, cannoli?
German.
Cannoli.
Cannoli.
One time we went to a very old cemetery that was reported to have Native American graves in it, and we thought we were hearing Native American Lenape. And the only way I can know that is because there's actually a website called the Talking Lenape, and you can actually learn Lenape language and compare it.
Mm-hmm.
We had
I
a girl.
said that a couple times, right? Like it almost sounds like native language.
We
Well,
at
right.
one
There a couple times.
we had a woman who spoke Lenape, and she was listening, and she was saying what they were saying. She
Cool.
said, "This is they're speaking."
I love that.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah, and
That's
Mary says that she's also heard other languages on it too. So yeah,
really.
yeah.
I had never, but I like, but you definitely sensed that was another language because you looked right at me.
Yeah,
You know, you
that's
looked
why
at
I
me
said,
and
does
you
it make
said,
sense?
yeah, and I was like, is that German? Because you had that bolt or something, and I'm like, what is that? But then when I went back and listened, I'm like, I wonder if that's what she's saying.
Could be.
Yeah, it's full.
It's a little too similar to be a coincidence. I don't believe it. You know what I mean? It's kind of
yeah.
a statement for her to say, an odd phrase. that in Dutch would kind of answer the question.
Sure. Or just be a common phrase. Yeah. It's full.
Yeah.
That's full.
That's cool. All right. Now we got Jackie with Bernard Meyer. Here we go. A little history. Here she goes.
Wow. There's two families. The family was actually had owners, absentee landlords here from when Michael passed away, the son of Derek. He passed away about 1831, 1832, and over the next 60, 70 years, it had various owners that leased the property to various families. The whole property, with minus a little bit, was finally sold to a man named Bernard Meyer, who was a German immigrant. Purchased the property around 1895.
Okay.
His family lived here, farmed all of the area that you see here, including the area that's now the all of the warehouses and stuff, until when Bernie died. And then what happened is, again, like New Jersey, you're land rich, cash poor, had to pay inheritance tax for the value of the land, but you didn't have the money, so you have to sell the land to get the money to pay the taxes for the value. So that's why
this is a big house.
Yeah, this is why all of the.
So Bernard was German.
Yes.
Right.
And if I just looked it up, what does Das Volt mean in German? It is the unit used to measure electrical voltage.
Like volt. Yeah, like a volt.
Electricity.
Yeah. Okay.
Which would not be back in their era.
Yeah.
Right.
No.
Well,
yeah, it could be for
Bernard
Meyer.
Well, what was charter?
I'm sorry. Das Volk is a German word that means common people of the country.
Oh, what's in that room? We are common people of the country.
So what is in this room? Common people of the country? I don't know.
That's us.
I mean, now you're saying a German immigrant inherited the home, right?
Yeah.
So,
German
I'm just throwing that out there because now maybe it was German.
It's good. The point, like to quote Ron Yacovetti, our friend, like it doesn't matter what it says. It matters that it sounds like a foreign language, either German or Dutch or whatever. And we're all hearing that.
Yes.
Yeah. And it shouldn't sound like anything.
Right.
Yeah, I grew up in an old German neighborhood. You know, one of the little Italian kids there, hey, all these Germans. And Dosh was like, you know, when the whatever, you know, das Haus, das this, das that.
Yeah.
So I know that was a German word. So.
Right, but you said like Dutch, which is really Dutch, like that.
Dutch.
I'm going to fight for the Dutch.
Yeah. So, interesting.
The only way to find out is to go back.
No, I just thought that was interesting.
I was just going to say that. Yeah.
We'll have Bernard being a German immigrant.
Right. I know. It could absolutely be German in that house.
And then we try one in German and see if we get responses to either.
Yeah, exactly.
I think it's both.
Yeah, well, you have a feeling for it.
All right, we got Jackie with Van Horn.
Yeah, the library. So Colonel Van Horn, you want to talk about him, Kim? Colonel Van Horn?
No, I didn't do any research on Colonel Van Horn.
Okay, Colonel Van Horn, another colonel, another military leader, right? He the library's named after him. He, I believe, donated everything in it.
He donated his whole
and his
collection.
picture is there. Yeah, his whole collection, and his picture is in there. No,
if I'm correct, it was just that he donated his collection.
He donated his library collection, and Nicole and Richard loved it. Such a cute picture of you, Nicole.
Yeah, we're gonna play.
A lot of information.
Hello, Colonel Van Horn.
A lot of information tucked away.
J.H. Van Horn. It says it on there.
Okay.
Yeah, he is connected somehow to this family. but not a direct descendant of this. He's like of the people that owned that.
Right.
And
but he donated all this stuff.
He donated half to 3/4 of the stuff that's here. And most of the stuff that we get as far as books, we get donations. Sometimes we find one that we can purchase and stuff. Everything that we have in here, there's nothing that's still connected to the Van Vechten family.
Okay.
The oldest thing that we have in the house actually is the clock that's downstairs.
Right here.
That dates back, we actually can date that dates back to
Okay.
That's
So I thought,
interesting.
yeah.
So, his
Colonel Van
uniform.
Horn.
What year is he from? Because his uniform is more modern.
Yeah.
The uniform
There's
he
a
had
Van
on, that's a
Horn
modern
house.
uniform. Huh?
They're in Bridgewater. Have you been there, Kim? The Van Horn house?
No,
it's in Bridgewater.
not.
It's in Bridgewater, New Jersey, right by a baseball stadium. The Somerset Patriots. Yeah, it's right across from it.
Yeah.
The Van Horn house. So that might have to be something we cover in a future episode.
What era is he from?
No, I think it's late 1700s.
Because his uniform's not a 1700. Plus, there's a photo there. It's like, you know.
Yeah. Okay.
So I think he must
I'll
have been
find
more
out.
like
We'll have to look it up. It's homework.
because that uniform looks more like your 1900s, more or less.
I love homework. We'll check it out. But yeah, nothing in there. So I wanted to mention the Cocos. Have you guys seen their video in there?
Yes.
Okay. So the Cocatilos did.
Yes.
Did you see it, Susan? Yes. Right. So they were running a recorder and setting their equipment up, and at one point, one of them says in that library, one of them says, "I'm going to put this dead bell." And a dead bell is a piece of paranormal equipment. It uses EMF and it rings like a bell. And he said, "I'm going to put this dead bell down here," and no one in that room. And someone goes loudly, "Yeah." Like, yeah. And it's a very modern thing to say. It's not a really old-fashioned thing to say. And at that point, it occurred to me, what do you think about this, ladies? Perhaps it's somebody from the Historical Society. Maybe it's somebody who actually volunteered or worked there.
Could be.
It's very possible. I mean, it was clear as day that it was a voice for sure. That it was neither of them in that room.
No, it was Carmela and Todd. And it was like, yeah, really, really loudly. And it was neither of them, clearly. And I just thought, well, we always think it's got to be something old. Maybe it's somebody who worked there and just passed away recently. Yeah. And I asked, and there were people who did.
Because you see how much that house means to the people who are working there and volunteering there. So
of course,
yeah,
they go back and check up on it.
Right, and they work there in that room all the time.
Yeah.
All the
and
time.
At the end of that clip that you showed, it kind of panned into that office.
Mm-hmm.
Did you have Jackie talking about that story?
Yes.
At all?
Oh, yes, but I didn't include the whole story, but I will tell it. Sure.
Okay.
Jackie has had some paranormal experiences herself up there.
Actually,
we didn't mention the staff all has had paranormal. They've all had experiences. One of them has her keys moved all the time. They hear footsteps in the other room, the frisk room. They hear voices. They hear a lot there.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't go through the claims like on Ghost Hunters.
I have a quick question.
Yeah.
I'm trying to follow along here. Derek. Who is Derek again? Derek is
Michael's son, who Derek was living in the house during the Revolution. So it was his house during the American Revolution.
All right, that was one of the names I got up in the library because I wrote everything down that I got. Just go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
That's good.
Big part of the house for sure.
Yeah, it's called the Derek Van Vechten house. But also, fun fact: Derek Van Vechten was captured at sword point by the British.
Yes. And kidnapped. He was captured and kidnapped.
And captured at sword point by the British.
Yeah.
So
he
he
did
decided,
not like the British at all.
at that point, he said, "You know what? I'm a patriot."
Yeah, I'm gonna help this Green, and I'm gonna help this Washington.
I'm gonna
and
help
that's
the
that.
Continental Army at this point. I wonder why. He got away, clearly.
Yeah, I couldn't find the story of how he
Yeah.
escaped or like what happened, but
Yeah, but
yeah,
that's
the
an
British came
intrigue,
up
wouldn't
and
you
down
say?
that whole bridge. They came up and down. They burned everything. They burned his church. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah,
Yeah, that's
how
dramatic.
yeah, that's how you don't make friends in the area.
Yeah.
The last clip is Jackie's
That's
experience.
badass. It's badass.
Jackie's experience.
Yeah.
Her paranormal experiences in the building.
Four different experiences here. I saw a lady that looks similar to that picture, that standing right in that doorway there when I came up to the top of the stairs.
Wait, right in which doorway?
The doorway.
Oh, that one right there?
That one right there.
Okay.
She was standing right there, corner of my eye. I saw her, and when I turned my head, she disappeared.
Wow.
We've had candles we've got candles that are downstairs that we would come in the morning on our Tuesdays, and instead of, mouse knocks it over on the floor, it rolls around. No. Here's the candle sitting up, for easy please, nice and pretty, in the middle of the room.
No way.
On the floor in the middle of the room.
Objects moved.
Yeah.
Okay. Number 2.
Well. So the other thing that happened to Jackie was very similar. She had a brochure that was downstairs in the home during an event with some Cub Scouts, and they turned all the lights off upstairs and didn't let anybody upstairs. We would have seen it, kind of thing. And went later on during the night, when she went to leave, she went upstairs to her purse, which was open, and the brochure was in it. And nobody did it. Nobody could explain it. And it was really, she said, okay, thank you. And she said at that point, she felt a soldier, standing right next to her. She is a sensitive as well. And she said, I felt clear as anything, a soldier standing right next to me. Wow. And I was like, what'd you do? And she said, I hightailed it out of there.
Oh, I'd be so curious to know what brochure, like which one.
Yeah.
What is it about?
Exactly.
The soldiers,
it was about the event that they were having. Yeah.
Oh.
So yeah, a bunch of Cub Scouts, but they weren't allowed upstairs. So, but it makes you wonder, are there children spirits? Like, what do you think? Are they the mischievous ones? Are they moving the candles, or are the servants moving the candles thinking they don't go there? I don't know. Full moon ladies, what do you think? You have a lot of experience with that type of thing.
Could be either one.
Yeah.
I think it could be either one.
Well, when we were upstairs, we had a woman.
Oh, excuse me.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about that sad woman you all picked up on?
Oh,
she's
oh yeah, she was really
sad.
I'm having an allergy attack all of a sudden.
It's
I'm
okay.
sorry.
Me too. I'm like, my nose running.
Well, upstairs, and I saw the stuff I had written down.
Doing better.
Huh? What happened?
She
her.
said, I thought you were doing better.
She's frozen.
Yes, no, I was, but now I'm not.
She doesn't have internet in that big hallway.
Upstairs, I got like a woman that said she was forced here, and I don't know. She said we're here working, and what did she say? She said something about being forced there, buried on the property, something in 1695, and her name was Eleanor.
Oh.
That was the things I got when I was up in that room. That's what she was, and I drew a picture of her, but it's really horrible. Do you want to see it?
I do.
Yeah,
of course.
Yeah,
I don't know if you can see it. Can you see it?
Okay, let's see.
No.
There you go.
Yes.
Pull it back.
Go a little
Pull
closer.
it back.
Yeah.
No,
your blur background.
Closer.
Right there, right there.
There you go.
Oh.
I feel like you did an eye test with the doctors. Like,
Wait,
okay,
you just have to go.
Right there, right there, right
That's
there.
it,
Good.
right there.
Don't
Yeah.
move.
Oh,
We
wow.
She was a black servant woman, and she was really sad.
Wow.
And something about a little boy that was 10 years old named Francis.
She had her
Now,
son to be with her.
Was she a nanny, maybe?
Her son was with her.
Son.
I think so.
Yeah.
And we also, well, this is what else we got. The Lenape Indians are here, she said. I can really talk. Somebody buried them. And the name Blackthorn, which I thought was interesting. Remember that, Susan?
That could be an Indian name. That could be
Yeah,
an
I'll write it down.
Blackthorn.
Yeah.
So who's Theodore? You guys got Theodore.
But we got Blackthorn, and then when I looked it up, because it was a bush or something that was common.
Oh, a medicinal plant.
It was used for medicinal purposes.
Yes.
That's right. Yeah.
And it made sense because she was not feeling well. And like it all made sense, but we were like, Blackthorn, what is that? And when I Googled it, it was a plant.
Like maybe she was like, I need some, you know?
Yeah.
Or what she was using
Blackthorn
to give
what
to
I
people.
loved about this sad woman was that not only did one person pick her up, not only did two people pick her up, not 3, 4, Carmela picked it up too, and my husband also picked it up. That is a lot of different people, specifically upstairs, specifically in the back room, specifically overwhelming sadness of a woman. I mean, that regardless, for me, without any evidence, without any kind of things going off, I mean, that's amazing. And they've had paranormal experiences of things happening upstairs in that hallway also. So I thought that was amazing that multiple people picked up on this emotion. And I would love to go back and see if we can get more information. I don't know if we're going to be able to pinpoint this one. This is probably at a time when nothing is really documented very much so. But for me, at this point, it doesn't really matter. For me, she's there. She's there. She had an experience, and we were able to reflect that she's there.
You all felt her. You all felt her. And Susan, you asked a question in the EVP session. You asked, was your husband controlling? Do you remember that?
Yes, I felt like he was like when she was talking with me, I felt like he was very controlling and very dominant, and she responded.
Yes, she said yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so then when we were in with Michael's picture and we were all in the circle asking, I just had this gut feeling that he was somehow connected to her. And when I was connecting like with his energy, he was just very full of himself, arrogant, very, self-important. And when we asked that, I can't remember exactly what I asked. I think it was on the EVP as well. So I used like flattery. I was like, oh, were you handsome or something? Like, you must have been so handsome. He said, yes, I was. And we have it on the EVP, somewhere in that EVP where it says, Michael, he responded, yes, I was. And I was like, oh, it really is his energy. Because it was exactly who I was upstairs with her.
Wow. I love that validation that you get. Like, you get the feeling it was like that, and then you get the validation from the EVP. So that upstairs room that we didn't get to really yet was really part of the oldest part of the house in the early 1725 era. That was maybe the loft that she was discussing. Now up there also, the Cocotilos got that light anomaly. That was so interesting. At first I thought it was Richard's watch reflecting. There was like an interesting light anomaly. We don't like to talk about orbs, but sometimes we do. We have to. I mean, this thing really had a life of its own and a source of its own of light. As you guys were speaking, and you said, how many of us are there? And it said 6, and they were really clearly on that. It was the phasma box, maybe?
Yeah, it was the phasma. Yep.
Yeah. And there were 6 of you, and it was so clear. 6.
So
at the same time. So that supposedly is the most active room.
Yes. Yeah.
Right. And they've seen figures on an SLS there before.
Yeah.
A child
and I would agree,
an adult.
My feeling and Carmela's as well, like that was definitely the most active part for me, the most intense, I would say.
I agree.
upstairs. Yeah, yeah, upstairs on that left side. Oh,
And that,
So overall,
that was the
what do you think?
reason Susan and I ran back up there right away.
Yeah, we were like, you guys go in the basement. We're going up.
Yeah, you
And I
guys
was like,
knew.
Oh, we lost somebody.
We lost her.
We knew.
She'll be back.
She had to put another,
She's got fire
water
service.
in the meter to come back.
So that was the most active room for you
Yes,
guys?
she comes. She's coming
We
back.
didn't get a lot. We did not, when Lisa and I were up there, we didn't get a lot of like electronic things going off. We had the cat ball going off in the hallway. We had a little cat ball action in the room with us. It was more of like our psychic connection, our mediumship, and dowsing rods. They seemed to really like dowsing rods in that room. We did not get a lot of equipment going off. It was quiet in that way, but the dowsing rods were just going like crazy.
It's good to know. Good to know. And the dowsing rods downstairs as well. We're going, Stacy, my partner Stacy had them. So interesting.
I find that happens a lot in the places that haven't been investigated so often because they're not really used to the equipment. They're not familiar with it, but dowsing rods are a more old school piece of equipment that they may be more familiar with and less intimidated by.
Right.
Right.
They're not used to things lighting up. They're not used to, from those, they didn't have that stuff back then, lights and stuff. The lights came from the stars or the sky. And a lot of times they were afraid of lights because they didn't know what to expect of them, especially red lights. For some reason, I always came across when you have a red light there, you get less activity,
Right.
So,
well, red means warning, right? Like something goes off with a red light. Like even if you didn't know what it was, you would think, okay, that's bad, red.
Yeah.
It's fire, it's hot. It's
Right, exactly. So my favorite Right.
So
what was your favorite EVP or piece of evidence there that we showed tonight?
Any one of you can answer.
Anybody.
Anybody.
I think the one because it sounds.
I think she said Michael.
The Michael. I heard her say Michael.
She said the Michael.
Michael was good too. Nicole,
a little bit. Okay.
Nicole, you need better internet in that hallway you're in.
Yeah.
That long hallway, better internet.
I agree with Nicole. The Michael was probably the clearest.
That was good.
Yeah.
So
it was so clear. Yeah. It was good. And I went back, I admit it, I went back to see them. And Frank said to me, he's the president. Can you guys describe Frank, the president of the Historical Society? I mean, he's like 900 years old. And right? Is he like, he may not be, but he's like 900 years old. He's like a yeah. He seems like he'd be this grouchy old man, but he's not. He's very sweet and he's very hoarse and like that. And loud, right? Like a deep booming voice.
Right.
And I said, I'm here. Do you want to ask a question? And he said, hey, do you have a message for me? And sure as anything, the answer came back, yes. And that was it.
Oh,
what am I supposed to do?
That's the worst.
You have to wait till part 2 to get your answer.
He was like, great. Okay. Because he was like, you have to sort of educate, right? Your clients, right? Because he was like, okay, where are the graves buried? Where are the unmarked graves buried in the yard? Why is this wall here? And I think they have expectations, like you're going to find all the answers, and that's not the way it works.
That was a really good reminder for us in the basement too, because we went in we're seasoned investigators, and we started to do, and the people from the Historic Society, had never done that before. So we had to take a step back and be like, okay, hold on, here's what we're doing, and here's what you need to do.
Right.
And then they got it real quick.
What I liked about Frank, though, he was our naysayer. He was the naysayer when we got there. He was sitting in his chair and he was kind of like, let these people do what they're going to do. No, yeah. And then by the end of the day, he was with us. And he was like, he was totally in. He was like, okay, I can't deny everything that I'm hearing and seeing. And he was fully invested with us.
You make such a good point. And when I went back and I played him some of those EVPs, especially the Michael one, he was like, all right, you got me.
Yeah.
You know, kind of thing.
Nice man.
And you are all invited back.
That's great.
We will definitely be going back.
It was wonderful that you guys all came. So thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you for inviting me.
Thanks for having us.
Oh my gosh.
I'm glad you guys put it out.
The first investigation opens up even more questions, right? That you need to, go
Always.
back and help.
Yeah.
There could be a part 2 to this too, and maybe I'll be involved this
Absolutely.
time.
Do you have a message? Yes.
Yes, Anthony.
What is the message?
Going.
And we got 5 minutes to show. We want to give a little announcement of stuff we're doing before we go. Jenny, you want to tell about the Hollow?
Hollow. Sure. This Sunday, Kim, Anthony, and I will be at an event in Boonton, New Jersey. It's called the Hollow Beyond the Veil Bazaar. It's a paranormal and psychic fair. And other friends who are maybe on the show coming up will be there as well. Bobby Gallo and Richard Moschella, if you've ever heard of him. Will be there as well.
It was have.
So it's at 125 Cornelia Street in Boonton, New Jersey. It's Sunday, October 13th at 1 o'clock. I think it's 1 o'clock.
11.
Sorry,
to 5.
11.
Yeah, and if you stay if you get not the package, but there's a special
VIP package
for the seance, and we'll be hosting a seance there as well. So.
Right. It's at an Elks Club. So it benefits the Elks, and we can actually investigate the Elks Club. So pretty cool event.
Oh, that's fun.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, pretty cool charity event.
And also the public house.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put this. I got the thing on that. So if you want to talk about public house,
there you go.
Anybody wants to come out? This is an awesome event. We did it last year. We sold out last year, and hopefully this year we'll do the same. It's an awesome event. You get a dinner. The food is so good there. They got cannolis. That was the favorite part of my night. The cannolis, and all the information's on that flyer. So come out. You see, 4 of us on the screen are going to be there. Me, Jenny, Lisa, and Nicole. So we come down, and the food is awesome, and the investigation with us is even awesomer.
It's a great place. It really is. We got some good activities.
It is.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And they got rooms if you guys want to stay overnight there too. So if you guys want to come,
good point.
You can stay overnight. Also, but that's not part of the food. That's not part of the ticket to see us. But you can make reservations to stay overnight. So come and check us out.
Come hang out with us. It's a great deal.
Yeah,
it's a great date. It's good in spooky season.
Yeah, and we always get compliments on everybody saying, it's such a great event. So hopefully you guys go. All the information's on this. All right, you got phone numbers, you got everything there. Hey, got the numbers. Hey, you show.
The only thing it doesn't have is a picture of a cannoli.
No, yeah, well, because the cannolis are usually gone before the picture's taken.
Do you ladies have anything upcoming that you want to share?
Go ahead, Nicole. You're good at rattling them off.
Well, Saturday we are going to be at the Columns at their Paranormal and Psychic Bazaar.
Yes.
Columns Museum in Milford, Pennsylvania. The 18th PH Steakhouse will be there. The 19th we have the Van Wyck investigation, Van Wyck Homestead investigation, which is in Fishkill.
Yes.
20th we have brunch with booze at the Borland House Bed and Breakfast in Montgomery. 26,
Great
we have
place.
Edmondson House tours. All proceeds go to the Edmondson House in Vales Gate. It's a fun, inexpensive daytime tour.
Don't forget the 23rd. We have the Catskill Game Farm.
It will be at the Catskill Game Farm as part of Wild Abandoned, which is
some
like a
urban
crazy
exploring.
For to do some urban exploring.
I love it.
And in between all of that, we have a couple library lectures.
My goodness.
Nice, you guys are
They're all
busy.
very busy girls.
Check out our Facebook.
You're always
It's
busy.
October.
And
It's our
Yeah.
it's our season.
It
It's
is.
our time. This is our month.
But
It
otherwise,
is.
we have nothing going on.
Nothing else.
Nah,
Yeah.
we're bored.
Yeah, we're free.
Right.
Yeah.
So next week we are on our show. We have author Al Cooley with his new book Spencer's Ghost.
Oh, very cool.
Very
So tune in for that little change up.
Yeah, I mean, we got to, this is October's our biggest month, and then we're going to November. But yeah, we got a lot of stuff coming up, and it's a great month for us. It's a fun month. This is what we do for fun. Imagine what we did. We do this for fun. If we didn't like it, we wouldn't be here right now.
Yeah.
So I got to say goodnight. The show is going in overtime now. We're gonna have to pay extra on this one.
You're worth it, guys. Thank you so much, Susan, Lisa.
I want to say,
Thank you for joining
Thanks for
us.
having
Amazing.
Lisa and Susan, thank you for everything. Thank you for joining us tonight. We love working together. The six of us work together so great, and hopefully there's more to come. With everything. Maybe we'll have a part 2 of this, because it seems like there's more stuff to this building than there was. What we could get.
Come back, please, to the Van Vechten House.
Yeah, we don't have enough time to talk about it.
This time we'll eat first.
Yeah.
Poor Lisa.
I always have to eat before. I want to say good night to everybody. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you for joining the what's the name of our thing again? No.
Seekers Chronicles.
Seekers Chronicles, Paranormal Historians, where the history meets the paranormal. Ooh, I just came up. So I want to say thank you to everybody in the audience. I'm sorry to get a chat to everybody in the audience back and forth, but
thank you. Thanks for your questions.
Yeah,
Thanks for
you.
sticking in with us.
So we got to say good night now, and
see you next time.
Good night, guys.
Bye, all.
Good night.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.